Justine, first of all, thank you so much for gracing our channel.
Of course, it's my pleasure, Tita. I've been waiting for this to happen, so I'm
Talaga
super
ba?
excited.
Had I
Yeah,
known, I would have asked you earlier because I took my time. Like I mentioned with some of the other girls, sometimes the higher profile girls,
mm-hmm.
it's a little difficult to get in touch with them and to have like an approval. So yeah, I
No,
wait for the
I was
right time.
when you
So
when you texted me, I was like, oh my god, did you really just ask me? Okay.
talaga ba ako naman nahihiya? Because
Yes.
took me like weeks to
Super swear,
convince
Tita.
myself.
Mm, we love you.
Thank
I love
you.
you.
Thank you so much. I already have like plans to ask you on board because I don't know, but for the others, I am friends with Eliza Malinaw, who you also happen to be friends with.
Yes, yes, she's my Inday Bax, my best friend talaga.
Tinuod gid na.
Oo.
So we talked once and then we sort of agreed that I should have you on board, but then I said, I'm waiting for the right moment because to have you on board in the middle of the pandemic while it was still at its height, just a
Mm-mm.
little crazy, a little
Yeah, that's
inappropriate,
true.
but at
Yeah.
least now, yeah, we can talk about it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Justine, first of all, I want to recognize your efforts. This is a very casual interview, but you came here in full force, hair and makeup. Thank you for that. What was the
Yeah.
rationale for
Just
doing this?
because I really miss glamming up talaga, tita. Of course, like every day we're just at home and we're mostly casual, diba? Sometimes, most of the time, I don't wear makeup. So every chance I get to doll up, to put makeup on, I will gladly do it because for me, it's also practice. So I was really excited to put a full face on. I even told AJ, my makeup artist, I go, AJ, I'm gonna do full glam ha. Don't make fun of me if you see the video. Sabi niya, go lang. We practice hard for this.
All right, so girls, if you get to have a chance to be a guest at this channel, please go for it. I mean, I definitely appreciate all the efforts. I mean, because it's nice to go back
Mm-hmm.
to, pageant roots, all the glitz and the glamour,
Exactly.
because we've been so somber the whole time. So,
Mhm.
Justine, what have you been up to? I mean, were you affected? Are you getting by? Where are you in life in terms of um, your preparations and then, I don't know, living in the time of COVID?
Well, right now, it's been a year that we've been candidates, so I have adjusted and adapted to the situation. I think as most of us has. Fortunately, I'm okay. I'm healthy. I am away from family right now because they're still in Canada and they're still in lockdown. So for the safety of everyone, they're not going to go back home, which was fine for me. So I've been staying in Cubao for the first 5 months after they announced the lockdown. And when I knew that it was going to be a little bit longer, I decided to go to BGC where it's closer to my friends because I was feeling very lonely. And when you're just by yourself in all four walls, parang you get sad, but sometimes you're trying to get yourself out of it. And I slowly realized that you don't have to be so positive every day because everyone's going through this. And parang every single day was progress for me mentally. And so when I moved to BGC, I was surrounded with friends, and then that kind of made my mood a lot better. And I shifted my mindset na, we can use this for service instead. So we would try to help out because Casey, my friend, she's a doctor then. So she would always be like, Baxi, we're going to do testing here and testing there. I'm going to educate you a little bit more on this. So she would always help me out as well and kind of focus my mindset on what's happening right now in the pandemic. Yeah.
Justine, did you stop your pageant training because of this break from the pandemic? Or did you continue at least aspects of your training?
I actually kept going kasi
You did.
oh yeah, because although my team was telling me, you should slow down because you might get burnt out. But I'm the type of person now when there's a goal or there's an end date, I want to make sure that I'm fully prepared and that I'm not lacking in anything. And of course, sometimes it's a bit stressful because I am a perfectionist and I overthink everything. Eliza knows this because when she was training, I was even training with her. I was like, Eliza, Inday, can I train with you? Because it'll be nice to learn from you as well, and at least I'm not going to be complacent. So for a while now, I've been training makeup, pasarela, And then Q&A, I think you can practice it at home naman kasi because there's Google, there's YouTube, and then I have my set of questions that I can practice every day. So I try every day to do at least one thing para hindi ako maging lazy.
Okay. Okay yun. Okay yun. Kasi ako lazy ako forever. I finish
Hindi yung
shows.
gym, tita. Oh my God. Hindi kaya fresh kaya, tita.
Oo nga, fresh, pero fat. Pero okay lang yun.
Kasi di ba ang dami mga friends nagbe-bake, so support lang.
Support? Oo nga. Speaking of baking and support and fitness, like, how do you keep fit, Justine? I mean, because I particularly remember that during this time of COVID, everyone got into the enterprising business. Everyone got into like the food business. So sometimes, of course, you get the freebies. And of course, if you have friends who go into the business, you get their freebies as well. But how do you get to balance and stay in shape?
Exactly. No, when my friends or people I knew started baking, I got really excited because I have a sweet tooth talaga. So,
Okay.
and of course, I'm all about supporting businesses, especially if it's like close friends of mine, right? And I always like trying something new. So I think every single day I was doing Lala Move for something new. And then I was like, you know,
Pinayaman ng Lala Move.
oh, Lala Move. And then after that, parang, I didn't see the difference because I was always justifying na parang, you know, I deserve this. We're all going through something, at least simple joys, you know, by eating my favorite food or indulging in sweets. Tapos eventually, mga 2 months na, so I go, oh my God, parang tumataba ako. Kasi,
Naramdaman mo no?
kasi I was trying on clothes and then hindi na nag-zip. So I go, oh my gosh. Kasi I gain weight easily talaga, tita. So,
okay.
After mga 3 months of really just enjoying and letting it go, I decided to ease into my diet again. So I was working out. At that time, the gyms were closed. So obviously, mga home workouts lang on YouTube. And then I would do jump rope sa bahay din. Tapos I tried doing like one meal a day. Although it didn't last very long. Maybe
Wala ka dyan.
one big meal, pero yung meal ko, tita, hindi naman siya healthy, mga Burger King.
Ayun, parang nag-buffet ka rin, no? Isang bagsakan. I feel you.
It's so tempting kasi, tita. But now, because we have a date, you know, with the coronation night and knowing that we're going to be back pretty much next month, I am full on, you know, game face on. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm slowly starting to count my protein intake, less sugar, lahat na tita, tinatodo ko yung diet.
All right. Well, before I go into the pageant side of the conversation, Justine, please reintroduce yourself to our viewers. Because I'm very familiar with you. You joined back in 2015. That's why I have a little bit of familiarity when it comes to you. But some of the newer pageant fans may not be familiar with you beyond what is written on the internet, which is usually just like a very short mention. But who is Justine Felizarta? What did you do and what are you doing now?
Hi everyone! Maayong adlaw! Ako si Justine Felizarta, your Binibini 17. Again, as most of you know, I have joined Binibini before in 2015, and that's where I met my best friend, Eliza, and of course, had the honor to compete with Pia Wurtzbach herself. So I took a 5-year break, and I decided to join 2020 because I thought, besides the age limit, I thought that I was more ready, given that I went back home to Canada a little bit to work and experience more in life, and to spend a little bit more time with family as well. So because I felt more mature and felt wiser in my decisions, I decided to give it one more go. But throughout all of that, my family is still in Canada because I grew up there. So it's also a way for me to rediscover my roots as a Filipino woman. And as a profession, I'm a licensed medical esthetician. So I am super passionate about skin health, beauty, lifestyle. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me because I get so much joy when people ask me about a skincare product or a treatment. And I do miss it because I've been working in that industry for about 3 years. And when you shift from that to pageants agad, you know, you want to keep practicing your passion. So whenever people really ask me, that's when my spark of joy comes in. And I want to continue doing that, not just for the pageant, but of course after that, because it's so helpful now to remind people about self-love, self-care, especially in a time of pandemic. So that's what I'm trying to advocate as well. And I also volunteer for Center for Migrant Advocacy because it's something I've been building up even before Binibini to help with the livelihood of our overseas Filipino workers. Kasi I am an OFW child, so as much as possible, other than educating myself, I want to also educate others on the rights of migrants and how they can cope with the pandemic as well. So yun,
Yeah.
and you can tell, I have a sweet tooth then, so yun.
Kaya naman kita tinanong, Justine, kasi I wanted to listen to you pronounce aesthetician because I've been having a difficult time trying to read it and trying to figure out, am I pronouncing it right? So there you have it, aesthetician. I did get to read that in your bio, and it seems very, very interesting because you're a pageant girl. Of course, aesthetics is part of what you do.
Yes.
So, it's really nice because I plinag ko na, diba? So the episode before this, my latest episode is about transformations. And I mentioned that when you talk about transformations, you will definitely talk about age. You will definitely talk about procedure, surgical and non-surgical. Especially here in the Philippines, people tend to hide under the rock and not say anything about the surgical procedures as if it's like the whole definition of you as a person.
Yes.
How do you feel about this, Justine? Because I really, really want to normalize the conversation. I mean, if you've had work done, for me, it means that buo yung loob mo. Ibig sabihin, why, why hide it? I mean, you don't really have to announce it, of course, but why are people skirting around the issue? What do you think, Justine? Because you are in the industry.
Well, of course, as a licensed medical esthetician, I've come across a lot of clients who have been insecure about their looks. And as soon as we start doing the treatment, as soon as we start doing consultations, their inner confidence really starts to come out. But the thing is that you can't force them to have that confidence. It has to start from them. And with treatments and procedures, it's a really big help because they see themselves in the mirror and the big improvements from treatment to treatment. And it's also, it gives your self-esteem a boost, right? There's non-invasive and of course there's invasive procedures. And for me, I am for either of them just because in a pageant, you have to give your best face forward. And alam naman natin that, it's something that's been happening around for a long time now. It's not just last year or this year. For me, I mean, I've done my teeth. Everyone knows that, right? I think it's pretty normal that we've done our veneers. And after doing that, I've honestly felt so confident in smiling more. I sleep with a smile on because I'm proud of it. And if it's something that makes you feel good in the long run, then I think you should go for it. But again, people shouldn't be scrutinizing girls for doing this because they don't know how it feels like to be in our position. And a beauty pageant is, of course, face value as well. And we're competing with the best. So if you have to do what it takes to be the winner, then I say go for it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As long as you're not harming yourself mentally and you know that you can accept that confidence inside as well, then there's no harm in doing so.
All right. I thank you for this because this is exactly also the same thought that I have. Like, you are competing in a beauty pageant. Ideally, it would be nice if you were like born with it. But even those who are born with it would have like minor, procedures here and there to enhance themselves at least on stage. So if you have to be at par and if you have to do whatever it takes to be at par, then yeah, go for it. If it's not illegal, of course, if it's not something that might result in like maybe disqualification or things like that. As long as it's within the rules, for me, okay lang sa akin yan.
And there's also the power of makeup, tita, diba?
Yun, the power of makeup. Ako naniniwala doon. Unfortunately, Justine, not all of us are skilled.
Tita, it takes so much practice from 2015 up until now. I'm still learning so much. So it's definitely not an overnight thing.
Definitely.
But now I know my face so much more, I think. So that's why I'm so much more comfortable with it.
Speaking of 2015, makeup-wise, ano yung mga change mo? Ano yung nakita mo na kailangan mabago to? What was that? What was in 2015 na feeling mo gandang-ganda ka sa sarili mo na pagdating mo ngayon sa 2021, dapat hindi ko na ginawa yun?
2015 was all about the big hair, dark eyes, bold lip, right? And I think during that time, that's exactly what my peg was and my look. For finals night, my eye makeup was black, smoky, and then a little bit of like a mauve lipstick and big hair. So now that I look back at it in comparison to now, it's more natural, more fresh. I'm trying to bring out my natural features, you know, just with a simple highlight, focusing on one aspect of my face. Today, it's my eyes. So it's not everything. And then yung hair ko talaga super straight kasi I like that Filipina look na very black and ano parang cream silk lang talaga.
Ayun.
So I'm trying to go in a more natural route. Usually my face is not this done up, but if I did have to go out, I'm very comfortable with just concealer, foundation, good lipstick, and my kilay. But that's pretty much it.
Kilay is life.
Kilay is life, exactly. So less effort, I think, this time around. As before, it was really done up to the hundreds.
Mas pack yung mga tao noong 2015.
Yes.
What about like other aspects of training, like pasarela and maybe Q&A? Was there a significant difference from how it was done in 2015 to how it's being done now?
Yes. So when I was competing in 2015, I was in a beauty camp, and that was great because I actually didn't know anything in terms of training for a pageant. I was a model, but of course, being a model and being a beauty queen is completely two different ends. So with pageants, you have to sell yourself. You have to have personality. You have to make sure that you're showing people who you really are, which means you have to be vulnerable. And they taught me all of that, the skill set, the walking, the Q&A, what I need to do to stand like a beauty queen, to talk like a beauty queen, and to even dress like one. But going back into the competition last year, because I have more experience in terms of life and work and people in general, I felt more confident in kind of being more gutsy in my creative side and seeing what I can actually do with my own decision. So I formed my own team, and I decided to be a collaborator. Like I tried to collaborate instead of being told what to do. And I think
so now you're independent.
Yes.
You are, okay.
So I'm really happy with that decision, although it was quite hard in the beginning because, of course, everything falls on you. I have an amazing team who have been with me through the whole time, and they support me and they tell me honestly what's good and what's bad for me.
All right. Well, this was something that I didn't know, so thank you for that. Because after 2015, I saw you in a documentary with the beauty camp. So I know that, and also you joined Miss Universe Canada as well, right?
Yes.
All right. So you've been around, and you never really left pageantry for like such a super long time, even with a 5-year a 5-year hiatus from Philippine pageantry. I mean, you've always been there.
Yeah, but I've always had my eye on it.
Right. But do you now feel like, because you have your own team, are you feeling a little bit of the buzz? I mean, let me put this in context, because Samantha Bernardo was just appointed to be sent to Miss Grand International. So because Samantha is now out of the game, a lot of people now are thinking of, who could actually fill the position for the next edition. And I'm seeing a trend, at least on social media, that your name just keeps popping up for the Miss Grand International crown. Now, of course, the crown or the title may not even be in your radar. It may not even be the crown or the title that you want. But the mere fact that they're connecting this to you must mean that whatever decision you made to be independent, to formulate your own team, it's actually paying off. What do you think about this? I mean, have you come across comments saying that you're perfect for MGI for the next edition?
Yes, actually, Tita, I'm very, very flattered by this comment because I've been very vocal about wanting this crown. Of course, people would ask me, out of all 4 crowns, which one am I eyeing for? And I've done my research in all of them. And for me, I was really drawn to MGI because it resembles kind of like Miss Universe and Victoria's Secret, which is something that I've always seen myself in competing as a little girl and as someone who's vying for a crown. So when people started mentioning that, it gave me more of a push because I felt like I was doing something right. And of course, I'm still learning about what they're looking for and the type of girl that what likes. So when people see that who's more experienced or who have seen the girls, I it gives me more confidence in knowing that I'm on the right path, hopefully, and that the judges or the organization will also see that in me. But the styling did change a little bit when I've been a bit more vocal about it, because of course you have to be quite specific in terms of, let's say, Miss International and Miss Grand. They're two different pegs. And because this is the one I'm going for, I had to change it up a little bit, and my team was more than happy to experiment with the looks. I've been trying to practice in front of a camera with a mentor as well, and kind of asking, is this okay to say? Am I allowed to be this bubbly? So I've been getting more comfortable with it, and also yung mga photo shoots namin, knowing your right angles, and even with mga pasarela, just staring into the camera and giving it that vibe. Because if there's going to be no audience, then you have to base everything on how you look confident on the camera so that the judges can see it as well.
But I am pretty curious because I love everything that talks about skin, that talks about beauty. Please give us a little bit of an advice. Like, I am not the youngest, of course, but I always say that I stay out of the sun as much as possible. Justine, please give our viewers some favorite beauty tips, a favorite beauty hack, or maybe the latest procedure that we should know about.
Of course. Well, Tita, let me correct you. You look really, really young, so I can't even tell how old you are, and that's amazing because, like, you just have that fresh looking skin, and I feel like you just stay the same the whole time.
Thank you. I am 40. FYI.
See, it doesn't even look like it. So when I get to your age, I'm gonna ask you what you do and how you do it.
Yun na nga, I stay out of the sun. Ito lang.
Yes.
I'm surrounded by the baguettes.
Hi, baguettes. Oh my God, ang ganda ng mata.
I'm surrounded by isa pang baguettes. Ang dami kong baguettes. Nasaan yung mga baguette ko? Keeps me young. Pero syempre kailangan natin ng magic potion dyan. So come on, Justine, give us tips.
I think right now what a lot of people are dealing with is the maskne. Because of course our skin is not used to having all that heat trapped inside our skin for a long period of time. So what I usually suggest is make sure that you have to wash your face at least twice a day, and you have to introduce exfoliating in your skin, because a lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of dead skin that builds up through our skin throughout the whole month. And if you don't exfoliate at least once or twice a week, it builds up and it covers the pores, and that's why your skin can't breathe. So when your skin can't breathe, the blackheads come out, the oil accumulates, and that's when you start breaking out. So if you exfoliate, you're slowly removing all that dead skin, and all the products that you put in afterwards will actually sink in more. So if you wear serums or moisturizers to help plump the skin and hydrate, then it's actually going to penetrate into the skin as opposed to just sitting on top of the dead skin, which won't do anything. And then a lot of people will complain that they're breaking out because of the product, but it's actually not from the product. It's because you're mixing the product with dirt and oil that you should be removing on a weekly basis. So for most people who have not been into skincare, those are the two things I would start with. And then because we live in such a tropical weather, you don't have to lather with such thick moisturizers. A good serum is good enough. So hyaluronic acid is really good because it'll help plump your skin, and it'll just help give you that glow without making it sticky. Don't skip out moisturizer, because the more you skip out moisturizer, your skin is gonna freak out and it's gonna overcompensate. That's why you get more oily. So you have to balance out your pH.
I like that. Nagfi-freak out siya. No? I like the explanation. It makes more sense. Kapag nagiging tantrumy yung skin.
Because skin reacts very quickly. And of course, you have to make sure you're eating healthy, sleeping properly, and hydrating yourself with water at least 8 glasses a day, so that you're also seeing that difference inside out.
Nakakaaliw. So this is actually just girl talk. Sana meron tayong
next time dapat
cocktail of products.
Yes, next time, we have to do it step by step. Tapos I will teach you how to
Oo.
diet,
Push
how
natin
long to
yan.
put it on. I am so down. Tapos you can wear our pajamas and mga
Hindi nga,
cute
like,
handbags
pag
natin.
normal na tong lahat, let's go for that. Naghahanap
Sige.
lang ako ng makakasama dyan eh, kasi wala akong,
Ako,
wala
I'm
akong
so
friends dito.
excited for that to happen.
Might as well be friends with the expert.
Exactly. Sige, tita. I will do that with you.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Justine, thank you so much for spending this afternoon with me. I like the vibe of this conversation. It's more girl talk than pageants, but thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Thank
you for
you,
keeping us in the
tita.
loop.
Thank you, thank you. It's my pleasure. And again, I was super excited when you texted me. So it's definitely my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm gonna end this broadcast, pero wag ka munang umalis dyan. Thank you, guys!
Bye! Ingat kayo!